Welcome foodies! In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a keto In-N-Out burger. I promise you this burger is going to be one of the best burgers you're ever going to eat, and I hope you like it. So let's get started. In a medium bowl, combine 1 3/4 cups of almond flour, three-quarters cup of golden flaxseed meal that has been finely ground, a 1/4 cup of either whey protein isolate or milk protein isolate. I'm using milk protein isolate, 2 tablespoons of finely ground psyllium husk, 2 teaspoons of xanthan gum, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. And then you want to whisk that all together until it's well combined and everything is mixed thoroughly. Then, in a large bowl, add 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 2 teaspoons of maple syrup or honey to feed the yeast. This will not affect the overall sugar content of the burger buns. It'll bake off in the oven. Lastly, 1/2 cup of water that is lukewarm, so it's just slightly warm to the touch, but you should use a thermometer and it should be between the temperatures of 105 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Now cover it with a kitchen towel and allow it to rest for 7 minutes. So once the 7 minutes is up, you want to add in 1 egg plus 3 egg whites at room temperature to your yeast mixture, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and a 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter that has been cooled slightly, and then you just want to whisk that together until it gets light and bubbly. Now we're going to combine your dry ingredient mixture. Now we're going to be adding in the dry ingredients to the liquid ingredients, adding half of the dry ingredients at a time, mixing thoroughly in order to activate the xanthan gum. Now add in a 1/4 cup of sour cream and whisk that through. And then add the remaining of your dry ingredients and mix in thoroughly until you get a dough-like consistency. So here I have a cookie sheet that I just lined with some parchment paper. And I also have a little bowl of water over here just to help the dough from sticking to my hands. Now I'm going to divide the dough into 6 equal pieces. And I'm just going to roll them in my hands until they form a sort of dough shape. I suggest you flatten them out just a tiny bit, just so they're not so heavy on the top. And then repeat this process for all your sections of dough. After you finish making your dough rounds, you want to cover it with some cling film that has been lightly greased and add a kitchen towel on top. Then you want to preheat your oven at 350 degrees and place the buns in a warm, draft-free place for 50 to 60 minutes. So after they are done proofing, you just want to take off the towel and the cling film. Then you want to bake for 25 to 30 minutes until the outside of the buns are a golden brown color. Once your buns come out of the oven, you want to add a loose foil dome to the top, making sure it's not really touching the top of the buns, and then you want to bake it at 350 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. In a large pan over medium-high heat with a tablespoon of oil, you want to add in 1 large onion that has been diced and spread it out pretty evenly across the pan, and then just cook that until it's nice and brown. So here I have a pound of ground beef. Into that I'm just going to be adding a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt, and then just mixing that through. Start to make our beef patties, so I'm just going to get some meat. I think I'm using a 1/4 cup measuring cup just to make sure they're all even, and flattening it out with my hands. They do shrink a little bit when you cook them, so you want to make sure they're pretty thin and flat. And I also want to toast the hamburger buns just to make sure they get a little bit crispy on the sides. And checking to see if one side is cooked, I'm going to take off the buns and then flip over my patties. And I'm just going to be adding a little bit of American cheese, and then letting the patties cook just a little bit longer, just until the cheese is melted, and then take that off the heat. So now we are ready to assemble. So here I have some Thousand Island dressing, some romaine lettuce, but you can also use iceberg lettuce if you'd like, some tomatoes, our caramelized onions from before, and obviously our hamburger buns. So what I'm first going to do is I'm just going to be adding about a tablespoon of that Thousand Island dressing to the bottom bun. And then I'm going to add a tomato on top, and then a piece of lettuce, 1 patty, and then adding the caramelized onions on top, and then another patty, and then finally the top bun. And there you go, you're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!